What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having an amazing day. Listen up. So, I've done this series, right, called My Journey. The basically my journey, lessons that I've learned along the way to becoming a pro. And I think it's super important. I think it's super important for me to give you guys a little bit of the reason why I wanted to play soccer in the first place. I think that's a key point that people need to understand is you got to understand why you're doing what you're doing, right? You have to understand why you're going on this journey. Why are you going through the hard times? Why are you going through the hard workouts? Why are you putting in the extra work when you could be hanging out with friends? And I think it's important to understand as well that we get on this journey. Once we get on this journey, we have to continuously remind ourselves, right? We are habitual animals, right? We are habit based. We are belief based, right? We get in these actions and it's uncomfortable at first. Everything we've done is uncomfortable, but the reason we stick with it is because of our why. At the beginning, that's what happens, but as you go on, as you continue through your journey, you begin to do things just based on habit, or based on this is how I've always done it, or this is how I'm doing it, this is how me and my friends have always done it. You know, um, I have a lot of respect for players that I've played with that have stopped playing in the middle of the season, right? And you're probably saying, well, those are quitters, whatever. No, it's because they knew at that moment, this is not what I want to be doing. They checked in with themselves. They checked in with themselves, and I like that phrase, checked in. Check in with yourself. Check in. Just make sure that everything's good. How are you feeling? Are you happy? How are your relationships? How are you physically? How are you mentally? How are you doing? How are you doing? Ask yourself, how are you doing? We ask other people all the time, hey, what's up? How are you doing? What's up? How are things? How's the family? How's the baby? All this stuff. We ask all the time. How are things with this? How are things with that? How many times have you asked yourself that? How many times have you asked yourself, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? Is this still what you want to do? If it's not, then let's go somewhere else. Let's do something else. And I want to say this. I want to caveat that. I want to add a caveat because I'm not saying switch all the time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying as soon as it gets hard, switch. I'm saying figure out if this is what you want to do, right? Figure out if this is what you want to do. But 5 years from now, after you've gotten the college scholarship and you're in college and you're halfway through and you're just like, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. I have huge respect for people who say, hey, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to do this anymore. And, they just stop playing soccer and they do something else. I have mad respect for that because you are introspective. You are introspective and you're saying, just because this is what I've done for the last 15 years does not mean this is what I want to do now. Just because this is what I've done for the last 15 years doesn't mean this is what I want to do right now. I want to do something else. I want to learn to be a pilot. I want to learn to draw. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's time for a new challenge. It's time for a new challenge. So that brings me to 3 points, right? That brings me to 3 points. You guys know by now. If you've been following my content, I like to break it down for you. I like practical advice. I don't like advice that people give and it's esoteric. It's something that, it's something that you can't really do. It's something it's an idea. It's an idea. I'm giving you 3 points right now, okay? So number one is check in with yourself. Like I said, check in with yourself. Check to see if this is what I still want to do. Check to see if I'm still happy, like happy. And I'm not saying am I comfortable. I'm not saying if I'm comfortable. But I know I know what my goals are. I know what I want to do. I know where I want to go. I know where I am as well. I know that in a certain situation, whether it's in college, whether it's in the pros, whatever, in a certain situation, I'm not as fit as I need to be, right? I'm not as strong as I need to be. So I need to get in the gym. I don't hate it, but I don't like the gym, okay? I don't like the gym sometimes. But I know where I want to go. That's my why. I have to go to the gym because this is where I want to go. That's fine. You're still going to put in the work, right? But if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know if it still makes you happy, or even if it's worth it, if that thing that you want is worth it, or if you achieved your goals but you don't really have another goal and you're just sort of like doing it just to do it, check in. Make sure it's what you want. Make sure it's what you want to do. Understand that you're not what you do, okay? And I'm going to go off on a tangent here real quick, but you are not what you do. You are someone else. You are a human being. You're not a soccer player first. You're a human being that plays soccer. Make sure that your feelings, emotions, relationships, all that stuff is in line with the things that you find that you, with your values, with your beliefs. Make sure that those are in line with that. Number 2. So number 1 is check in. Number 1 is check in. Make sure that it is what you want to do. Number 2, timeline. Number 2, timeline. So check in. So number 1, I said check in. Make sure what you're doing is what you want to do. The why, the who, the what, the when, the where, all that stuff. Is this what I want to do? Is this where I want to be? Is this who I want to be with? Etc. Right? Number 2 is understanding the schedule, understanding the timeline of doing what you want to do, right? So listen, the schedule, the timeline, for me was I want to be a pro, okay? And for me, I knew that I had to go to college first. Once it didn't work out in England in high school, I knew I had to go through the high school process and then I had to go to college, right? So college is 4 years. I wanted to get out in 2. You know, it didn't work out that way. No problem. For me, I was willing to go until the wheels fell off, right? I was willing to go until it was obvious that I couldn't play anymore, right? Until my legs were falling off, right? So that's my timeline. My timeline was 4 years of college and I got to go pro, right? A lot of you guys are saying, you know, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And in your head, you say, yeah, I want it in 4 or 5 years, but your attitude, your urgency, etc., doesn't lend itself to saying, oh, it's going to take a while to get this, right? You're looking too much. You're looking too much around you, saying, my friend went there, my boy that I used to play with went there, this guy I played went there. Like, what am I doing? It's not. That's the opposite of patience. That's the opposite of patience. Looking at my friend over here, who I just played with, going to the MLS. My friend over here, who I just played with, playing in Europe. Be happy for them. That's cool. Yeah, hey man, hey, good job and all that stuff, and use that as motivation. But if that's like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. You're not looking at the timeline. You're not looking at the schedule. Look at the timeline. Look at the schedule. You're getting antsy. You're getting anxious about it, right? You're not looking at your timeline. You have a timeline, right? You have a timeline. This is going to take me 4 years. I know where I am, and I know it's going to take me 4 years to get there, right? I know it's going to take me 4 years to get to where I want to go. But then on the other hand, you're looking over here and saying, whoa, why am I not here? Why am I not in the MLS already? Why am I not playing in Europe already and all this stuff? But in the timeline, you said it's going to take 4 years. It's only been a year. So why are you freaking out? Because you're not looking at the timeline. You're looking at your friends. You're looking at your parents saying, oh, when are you going to get a job? When are you going to get a real job? All this stuff. Like, guys, this is where all the anxiety comes from. You don't have a timeline. You don't have a timeline. Either you don't have goals or you don't have a timeline, right? And then once you have the timeline, you got to look at the timeline. You got to look at it every single day and say, okay, it's 4 years, right? It's 4 years. That's a long time. But still, in the grand scheme of things, it's not. But looking at it, oh, shoot, it's 4 years away. It's 4 years away. It's 4 years away. But look how far I've come already. Look how far I've come. I've already been on this for 14 years. For me, when I was a pro, I had already been playing soccer for 18 years, right? So I looked at it and I said, what is another 2 years of grinding? What is another 2 years? You have to look at it. It's perspective, guys. It's perspective. My word of October. I have a word for every month. One or two words for every month. This month, it's perspective. Getting perspective on every single thing that I think about. Right? So I'm looking at my YouTube channel saying, oh, I'm not at 3K, 5K, 10K. I'm not I'm not big time yet. But then look at perspective. I've been on YouTube for 2 months. You think you're going to blow up in 2 months? Come on. Perspective, man. Perspective. How much work are you putting out? How many videos you got out? 10? That's perspective. You don't have enough videos. You don't have a big enough audience. It's simple, guys. It's simple. Put it in perspective and then take responsibility. Put it in perspective and then take responsibility. You're mad at your coach for not playing? Look at his job. Look at it from his perspective. I know you've heard this before, but actually do it. Look at it from his perspective. He has 22 players on the team. He can't take everyone. You had a bad week of training. Put it on yourself. Take responsibility. You're not good enough to make the team right now. The quicker you admit it, the quicker you understand that you do not deserve what you think you deserve because you have not put in the work. Take responsibility of that. As soon as you take responsibility of that, then we can change it. Then we can go and we can work on it. But until you take responsibility, it's always going to be on the coach. It's always going to be on your mom. It's always going to be on your dad. It's always going to be on your girlfriend. It's always going to be on someone else, your teammates. Until you take responsibility for it, nothing will change. Nothing can change. Guys, number 3, finally, put in the work. Put in the work. Put in the real work. How do you know what the real work is? Video analysis, guys. Video analysis, watching yourself, taking full accountability. Video analysis allows you to be objective without having to worry about, oh, is it my coach? Is it me? Is it my girlfriend? Is it, oh, that was a bad pass? No, it's on the video. It's on the video. Oh, my coach is being mean to me. My coach is saying these things to me, and I'm not doing that. Watch it on the video. If it's there, it's there. It happened. If it's not, it's not. Video analysis is the best way to take your game to the next level, bar none. You guys have to put in the work. How do you know what work to put in? Self-analysis, self-assessment. And the best way to do that is video analysis. Anyway, number 1, check in with yourself. Make sure this is still what you want to do. Make sure this is still what you want to do. Make sure you still want to put in the work, because there's a lot of work ahead, guys. There's a lot of work ahead. Once you make it, there's even more work. Once you become a pro, there's even more work. So is this what you want to do? Are you down for the ride? Are you willing to go on this ride of ups and like super highs and then super, super lows? Are you ready for the euphoria as well as the depression? Are you okay with that? And if you are, check in. Make sure this is what you want. Make sure you're in the right place. Make sure you're with the right person. Make sure you're doing the right things. Make sure you're doing the why. Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to discipline yourself? Are you willing to say no to some things? Is this what you want? Check in, guys. Check in. Say, how are you doing to yourself? How's everything going? What's up? How are you feeling? Is this still what you want to do? Check in. Number 2, timeline. How long is it going to take? How long is this grind going to take? How long is it going to take me to achieve my goals? And then keep checking the timeline. I'm not saying mark off each and every day. But when your boy over here signs for a big time club in Europe, be happy for him, but say, my timeline it's not my time yet. It's not my time. Your time will come. If you are patient. If you're not patient and you sell out early, it will never come. Set your goal and tell yourself how long that's going to take. Set a timeline and check it. Whenever you're looking around, whenever you're looking at your boys, whenever you're looking at, your best friend who went to Europe and he's making a lot of money and he's doing it big. Check your timeline. And that's hard. I'm not trying to say it's easy, but you got to do it. You got to be patient. Your time is coming. Number 3, put in the work. How do you know what work to put in? Video analysis and self-analyzation. I made that word. I made that word. Self-analysis, video analysis, self-assessment. Guys, you have to know where you are in order to know where you're going. You have to know where you are in order to know where you're going. Like if I want to go to the store right now, it's 5 miles away. I wouldn't know how far it is. I couldn't set the timeline. Maybe I should have put this number 2, but I can't set the timeline. I can't know how far away it is if I don't know where I am. You click current location. How do you know what your current location is? You have to self-evaluate, self-analyze, self-assess, video analyze. How do you know where you're going? How do you know how long it's going to take if you don't know where you are? With all that, now I have to put in the work. Today I have to put in the work. Tomorrow, we'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. But today, I'm going to put in the work. Today, I'm going to be proud of what I did. And then tomorrow, we'll worry about that. And I'll just keep moving every single day. Compound effect. Every single day, I'm going to put in the work. And at the end, it's all going to work out because of my timeline. Because I'm checking in every single day, making sure that this is still what I want. So that when I do go to the gym, I'm putting in 100% because I know exactly what I want. I know what I want. I know this is still what I want. I know that this is what I love. This is how I want to do. This is how I want to live my life. I want to do this. I want to be disciplined and put in the work. If you don't check in with yourself, you go through the motions. You're not sure. It's all habit. You're not sure. You're just going and slow. You're a robot. You're programmed. So guys, there's 3 again, real quick. Check in with yourself. Make sure that you're checking in with yourself daily, multiple times a day, making sure that you're doing okay, man, or woman. Make sure that you're doing okay. Make sure that what you're doing is what you want to do. Make sure that who you're with is who you want to be with. Make sure that you are happy with yourself. Make sure that you're happy with yourself. I'm not saying you're going to be happy 24/7. I'm just saying make sure that this is the journey you want. Make sure that this is the journey you want. That when the times get tough, and they will, that when times get tough, and they might be right now, that when times are tough, that this is still what you want to do and that you're willing to endure it, that you're willing to go through it. Number 3, put in the work. Self-assess, self-analyze, video analyze. That's for soccer. Video analyze yourself, see where you are so that you know where you're going. And then put in the work, guys. Put in the work. Make sure it's smart work done hard. Smart work done hard. So it's not just hard work, but it's smart work. You do that through video analysis, seeing exactly what you need to work on and going and working on that so you have full confidence that what you're doing is going to work. That you have the exact blueprints of how to make it happen. Guys, I appreciate you coming on again. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. Make sure you share this video with anyone who needs to see it, especially if they're injured, especially if they're going through a hard time, especially if they're sort of in the air of whether or not they want to play the game anymore or do what they're doing, living the life that they're living. Whatever it is, guys, share this with them, please. Not for me, but for them. I believe in this information. I believe in what I'm saying, and I think that it would be great if you share it with someone. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.